But you let the dad be the dad, right? Or the patriarch in that sort of...
Yeah, I could see that.
I have brought mothers flowers, that kind of thing, when I meet them.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you what, that kills, I mean, that goes over with everybody.
Oh, sure.
Really?
That really wins.
Do you take off the thing saying we're sorry about your loss?
Of
when
course,
you lifted them off the gravestone?
Nobody sees it for what it is.
A
manipulative,
a thinly veiled,
in her pants.
You know, and you wink at the mom.
Yeah,
like,
if this doesn't work out with your daughter.
And I say nice things like, "Oh, I see where she got her huge boobs from."
And by the way, can you go up to her room, grab an extra pair of panties because I'm keeping these?
And do you tell her you must be her sister? You can't be her mother.
Oh, don't
Crap
tease
like
me.
that.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Speaking of boobs, scientists have determined that the love heterosexual men have for breasts is innate and not imposed by cultural modesty norms.
Yeah, you think it might have something to do with the fact that we fed off of them for the first year of our lives?
Yeah, right? But, researchers studied the Dani tribe of Western New Guinea.
Hi, I'm Danny.
I'm Danny.
We're all Danny.
Where it was norm for women to go topless up until 20 years ago when tribal women began covering up. They interviewed the Dani men who came of age when all women were topless, as well as those who grew up in a society where women covered up, and discovered both groups felt the same about breasts.
Hey, Danny, what are these broads doing covering up their boobs?
And not the other way when I was a Danny. I can tell you that.
You know what? This started all changed when Danny got in charge.
Yeah.
What are you doing over there, Danny?
We got to upset Danny. You know who should take over? Danny should take over.
Hey, Danny, you're out. Danny, you're in.
Danny's dead. Long to live Danny.
The head researcher stated, quote, "What we can say is breasts are sexy, naturally so. Men like breasts." Duh.
I disagree strongly.
Okay.
How so?
Here's the thing. I think up until, I'm not sure when this happened, but within my lifetime, everything has gone from boobs and now it's butts. Everything has changed.
I see what you're saying.
So you started out as a boob guy, but were you breastfed?
I was not breastfed, and as Tom knows, that's the only thing keeping me out of the mental hospital.
Well, that's
now, see, I'm an ass man, but I think it's because when I was growing up, I was butt fed. Doctors begged my mother not to do that.
That's interesting.
Isn't butt fed one of the Star Wars characters? Butt fed.
She squeezed the bottom between her cheeks.
For me, it's all in the eyes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm not. I don't objectify.
Who are you?
Oh, wait a second. I can barely stand it.
I know.
No,
right?
I'm serious.
Who are you auditioning for?
No. So yeah, you're only interested in the eyes.
The eyes and the intellect
and the personality.
You're only interested in what your eyes see on the other person's breast.
It's the woman's eyes. And how
I believe it was stated in a nice cover by the J. Gals band. First, you look at the purse.
That's Sweet Sweet Percy.
I believe is the song.
That's Sweet Sweet Percy.
Now, so the essence
if
of this.
that were true, wouldn't women be fascinated with breasts
Yes,
too?
that's why I don't.
But they
think
kind of are.
I don't think it's the breastfeeding thing. What this is saying is, in for example, in contemporary American culture, breasts are covered up all the time for the most part.
Right.
And they wanted to see if in a culture in which they were not covered up, if they were still that into
they
boobs.
weren't desensitized.
And and the fact is they were not. They apparently, I don't know how they measured it, but the people in the Dani tribe that were exposed to breasts all the time, they still, I guess, really dug them in a lady.
You know what? Boy, I'm going to confess to something here. And I think that you guys, I would be interested to know how many men particularly agree. I prefer clothed boobs. Like, to me, I'm more turned on by like a great pair of boobs in a sweater.
Sure.
Than I
understand
am
that.
like nude on a beach.
Do you get excited though when she takes the sweater off? Like, are you anticipating it?
Yeah. I mean, I want to.
Okay.
I want to feel them and stuff, but there's something about a woman in a great bra or a shirt.
I like a nice T-shirt with the bra off.
Yeah.
That's very exciting.
Yeah.
What happened to the
What about
eyes?
your eyes?
It was all BS.
I mean, you were lying to us.
I'm a new fan of the boob thing. Because my girlfriend has a nice rack.
Yeah, we've heard.
No, we've seen.
People yell at me at strip clubs, though, because they're, hey, put that back on.
You get more money if you put it back on?
Does this article mention? I know it's scientific. Does it mention the concept of motorboating?
No, it doesn't.
Okay. And when you do it, do you make the sound of a Chris Craft? Or do you go with more contemporary? Yeah, that is, as opposed to an Evan Root or a Johnson.
Right.
Okay, good.
I think Chris Kraft is better.
I love that noise.
Is that
There's no way she allows you.
is that trademark? The blah, 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 like
Should be.
like the Harley Davidson.
Yeah, I think
sound?
Harley trademarked their sound.
There
yeah.
must be women who love being motorboated.
Sure.
Just get your face in there and go to town.
I can't imagine that that's.
I think that you.
But out of all the women out there, it may
I'm
only be
sure.
1%.
Yeah, I'm sure there's like women who get turned on standing in strawberry jello, but I mean, you're going to find
God,
one.
that is hot. Isn't that hot?
Man, you didn't mention that, and I got a boner.
Now look what you did to Pat. He can't stand up.
Strawberry jam, damn it.
Strawberry jello, please.
Jello.
That's the jam wouldn't turn her on.
What's the difference between jam and Jello?
No.
Okay. I wanted to reel it back to the human female breast, if you will, because I know Pat has a
Oh,
song.
yeah, I do, yeah. The one that gets me in trouble.
The news story we had was about the whole about the attraction of breast, you know, whatever. The essence of it was that they went to this tribe where the ladies were naked all the time, but the guys were still digging breasts. That's sort of the essence of the story.
Yeah, that it's
but
innate.
that got me thinking about this thing yesterday. Did you hear this thing about Hooters?
No.
And the story didn't make sense.
The Hulk Hogan thing?
Yeah, Hulk Hogan is buying the. He's not buying the restaurants. I got another version of it here. He's buying the intellectual. He's trying to buy the intellectual property, so he can turn his beer, which is called Real American Beer, and somehow tie it into Hooters. It was really confusing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I guess Hooters has to sell off their assets because
Right.
I guess they're going bankrupt, which is ironic because sales are flat. The waitresses aren't. I'm sorry that
Why am I laughing?
this just makes no sense. I'll try to find out more. I just don't understand it. What he would do with just the name Hooters.
Well, I think the name
It's
could.
the brand, yeah.
I think the name could go on without and have another restaurant,
And the
people would be,
merchandise and- yeah.
especially Hulk Hogan. Absolutely.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens. We'll see if he's the winner. In the meantime, Pat asked me to set this up again because you have a song about the female breast. Is that correct?
I do indeed. Josh, would you help me on this? Grab the kazoo.
Okay.
I'll walk you through this. Give me something like a ba-do, ba 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 da ba 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 da da da. All right, very nice. Got a gal named Paula.
Oh yeah.
Paula O'Brien is her name.
Uh-oh.
She's very intoxicating. I'm like a moth to a flame. Haven't had a drink in 15 years. I walk a very straight line. But if Paula O'Brien's boobs were booze, I'd be loaded all of the time. I've never been.
A little motorboating.
I like it.
You just couldn't help it.
No, I couldn't stop.
Give me that again later on in the song. So that made me laugh.
I'm ready.
I've never been a boob man, and I don't mean to objectify. It's important I stay sober, just heaven knows I try. I go to my AA meetings, but all I think about are her double D's. If Paula O'Brien's boobs were booze, I'd wake up with the DT. If Paula's boobs were booze, I'd be bombed every day. If Iraq was full of wine, I'd go from teetotal to sommelier.
Oh yeah.
There you go for tatas with Tito's. And I had me a sip. Fall off the wagon with one little nip. If her chichis were full of tequila, I'd lick the salt and squeeze those limes. If Paula O'Brien's boobs were booze, I'd be loaded all of the time. Oh, if Paula O'Brien's boobs were booze, I'd be tit-faced. I'd be almost it-faced all of the time. One more time, Joshy. Blah, 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 blah.
Very nice.
Lovely.
All the additions were
Pat
just
Conlon, ladies and
fantastic.
gentlemen.
I have a question. Why do you have to take your headphones off to motorboat?
They might shake off, I guess.
They'll fly off.
Will they?
That's how
Okay.
vigorous a motorboater
Okay.
is.
That's a very
He's hella
good
hella
look.
motor.
Can you answer me that question, please? Just this one question.
What's that?
Have you ever motorboated a
No.
woman's boob.
He's lying.
Oh, you're missing out.
He does that too well to not have done it.
Yeah,
No.
Yeah. Yes.
I was taught by the best, Bob. Bob
Can you
is the expert.
imagine the
That's
women
kind of
that
a
he's
weird
been
thing
with
to,
allowing that to happen?
You and
I
Bob
don't know.
sat around one night and you showed you how to play
No,
with boobs.
I've just observed the man when he's been in here.
Right.
And he's perfected it. It just gave me.
All right.
Here's what you can do later on. I'm sorry. Now we're going to check in with Christy Lee. You know, you told me in the green room we have romance in the news.
Absolutely.
Oh, who doesn't love romance?
Right?
Yeah.
Everyone loves good
I'm a sucker
romance.
for it.
Where you flirt, though,
Cram it!
where you flirt can make or break your chances of getting together.
This is
however.
important, isn't it?
You mean location, not orifice.
Yes.
You flirt through orifices.
Or your eyes or your
You
mouth.
know, Tom,
Just
Hey.
trying to clarify. Sometimes
Did you ever have one?
I wrote the beginning of the story. I think I made it very clear.
I wrote it. I wrote it.
why don't you read it?
Hey,
then?
you're cute. No. This here.
No, please.
New research shows that the location and setting matters more than looks, charm, or even how well you know the person.
Oh, come on.
Across 5 studies, Chick, people were much more likely to say yes to a romantic advance in places like bars or dating apps. In other words, anywhere that feels socially
Well,
appropriate.
Right.
Instead of on safari
Yeah, or at a wake.
or at a
Well, that's
demolition
hit
actually
it.
in here, Josh.
You hit it. Less welcome flirtations in offices, doctors' waiting rooms, or funerals. And here's a
Can you imagine
That's
hitting on
obvious.
someone if you? So sorry to hear about your husband. By the way, I got a nice roast beef at my house. Want to come over?
that happens all the
How
time.
are
Wait a
at
minute, hold it.
funerals.
I think we need to focus on his pickup line
Roast beef.
as he's got meat at his house
Yeah.
and he wants to share it with.
Women do that all the time.
Hey, you want to come over? And
The old delivering the casserole
the
to the-
casserole
to
at
the
a funeral.
widower. Yeah,
Yes.
that's kind of an old trope, but
Oh, yeah.
I bet it came from somewhere, didn't it?
Sure did.
Yeah.
And
I mean, at
Margaret does it on Grace and Frankie. It's a beautiful scene.
I just don't think that the point of this article is you don't do it standing next to the casket.
Attractive people fared better overall. Duh.
From the Shinola Institute of Technology.
Right?
No Shinola.
Yeah.
Pardon me, ma'am. Would you like to go out sometime?
But they even bombed in the wrong place. A hot
Excuse
stranger at
my
a funeral?
hump.
No, not at a funeral. Familiarity helped a little, but it wasn't a deal breaker. In fact, people didn't like when a friend made a move in an awkward place. Like, you should know better than that.
Man, the doctor's office is real funny, too.
The waiting room? Can you
Yeah,
imagine?
yeah. Come on.
Nobody talks in the waiting room at the doctor's office. It's
Yeah.
What are you in for?
And you got the same grash and same. Is your groin still itching like mine? I got a wicked rash.
Have you
How about
ever had to call a past lover and tell them that you have
No.
STD and they need to get tested? You've never had to
No.
do that.
Boy, thankfully I haven't either. Anybody?
No, me
not
either.
me.
Yeah.
No.
Those are some tough calls. And do them.
Yeah.
You know, if you're thinking out there. if
You
you're
already
out there-
did them.
Well, yeah.
Oh, you mean make the calls?
Yes.
So, what is a good place then to?
The type of invite mattered as well. A dinner date was usually more welcome than a come on over pitch, which Tom just threw out with the roast
yeah, for
beef.
some roast
I got some roast beef over here. huh?
Especially for women and especially in places where romance feels out of place. Bottom line, people respond to flirting, but it has a lot to do with the vibe of the room, which makes sense. Bars equal good, funerals equal not so good.
What do you think about the gym?
The gym, the farmer's market is a big one.
These are both good.
Yes, good. Yeah, the gym.
No.
Like places that you enjoy going is where you would want to meet people you have things in common with.
Christy,
right?
you're saying no to the gym.
Not at the gym. I
You're
don't know.
focused. You're
Yeah.
I say no to the gym.
You're
no,
not- you're
I
not-
think the gym is very sexual.
you're not feeling your
I'm
most
into it.
attractive.
You're all-
Oh, I'm sweaty and gross.
Yeah, you're all sweaty.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, but if he's gonna hit on me like this,
the pheromones
Yeah.
Yeah.
are
Well,
roaring.
there's
If he
that,
likes,
but-
if he likes, stinky Christy, he's going to be okay when you
Well,
powder
and then
up.
there are
Powder up.
Or maybe not. Maybe he just wants
yeah,
stinky.
that's true.
and then there are the people that just go to the gym to get picked up. We've all seen them.
Yeah,
You know
the
what?
whole
do.
face of makeup.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh,
man,
yeah.
I
it's
think
nuts.
I think Tom is missing the boat. I think you should teach a course on picking up women,
That
roast beef, and
I
tell
can't
him
believe he said roast beef.
That's so funny.
the powder up. That was
And you
a
know what he
great
does?
line.
Hey, you want to come to my house for some roast beef? She goes, no. Oh, probably a vegan.
I hear you fart a
You're
lot.
gassy. Yeah.
Probably a lesbian.
Doesn't matter. That's what,
Vegan lesbian.
Like a vegetarian.
Didn't we have I think we just had a thing recently also about geographical locations. Irrespective of where, if you're at the gym or the funeral, whatever, certain places are significantly more romantic. I imagine if you're in Paris, France,
Well,
versus,
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
Paris,
Ethiopia.
Illinois.
Yeah. Ethiopia. Yeah.
You want to go out? Why, do you have food? No. Then no.
My friend Tom has roast beef.
Yeah, how about that?
Back in the States.
Let's talk about that first date. Is using a coupon acceptable?
No.
Absolutely.
Ace.
No.
A new
I
survey.
think I would laugh.
I would laugh.
What about okay, go ahead and
A new survey suggests attitudes about frugality are shifting among Americans with respect to budget conscious dating.
please.
In a Talker research poll, 55% said it's perfectly fine to use a coupon on a first date. Over 35% would be impressed if a date used reward points to pay.
oh, all right, I see.
Nope.
60%
what kind of- but
find
first-
frugality a positive trait.
So the coupon, you're obviously going to be you're not going to be at,
No, there are nice
You'd be
restaurants
surprised,
that
Tom.
have frequent shopper
Yeah.
cards or whatever. Yeah.
Or you get a 10% coupon on
Really
your phone.
nice, yeah.
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 You're
Not-
looking at me like I'm crazy.
Not
I
like-
can show you one or more
Okay.
tonight.
Not like Sardi's or the Brown Derby or someplace that you think's still open.
Tavern on the Green.
No.
I'd
no,
like
no.
we have the two for one Chateaubriand for two. She'd like the hamburger. As Greg Hunt says, I'd like the filet.
More than 25% describe frugality as being sexy, and over half said they've been turned off by someone trying to show off their money. $125 is the most people are comfortable spending on a first date.
Who's turned off by somebody showing off money?
I think they
Apparently over
mean
half.
That's
they
weird.
mean being real showy, like whipping out a big wad.
Yeah, that's hot.
Yeah. I'll take this much. Yeah.
Man, yeah.
And this was surprising.
Like in Goodfellas. I need this much
Yeah.
money, and you hold your fingers apart.
Nearly 50% are happy to split the bill on a first date.
Now
No,
you're talking
no.
Ace's language.
I wouldn't allow it, but I do
No
believe
way.
that that's probably accurate. Yeah.
It's
I've had a lot of girls in my dating life offer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
and you've turned them down.
I said, no. If you pay half, then you don't owe me anything sexual.
Oh,
So I'd rather have the.
pay for it.
No, and what is that? That illustrates full communication.
Exactly.
On your part.
And by the way, I saved money on these condoms. There's an expiration date that's passed, but hey, we're fine. There's no reason to think that they're rotting.
Can I pay half? No. I'd rather have the Uber Beach.
I love the Uber Beach. You had that for dessert?
Uber
Is that
Beach.
the one where they take the torch and they crisp up the top?
Can't beat it over beach.